President Donald Trump recently addressed the nation, claiming Chinese interference in U.S. elections, sparking renewed scrutiny of Beijing's influence in America. Federal records show that a variety of Chinese government agencies, state media outlets, and China-based companies have registered under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, to disclose their activities within the United States that have political implications. Other Chinese entities report their lobbying efforts under the Lobbying Disclosure Act, often framing their work as purely commercial. Together, these filings reveal a glimpse into the ways Chinese interests seek to shape U.S. policy, public opinion, and business decisions. Despite these disclosures, they do not provide the complete picture of China's influence activities, nor do they prove the validity of Trump's election interference claims. Significant sums of money are spent by private entities in China and Hong Kong, with known ties to the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, to sway American affairs. In 2025, the Department of Justice recorded over $20 million in FARA expenditures from these private entities, with millions more detailed in lobbying disclosures. Chinese government sources themselves spent nearly $80 million on FARA expenses during the same timeframe. Some influence efforts, such as those involving campus groups like the Chinese Students and Scholars Association or organizations linked to the United Front Work Department, operate outside public disclosure, making it difficult to fully assess their scope. Additionally, critics assert that several U.S. nonprofits may have substantial links to the CCP, providing Beijing further leverage in America. Chinese officials insist their international exchanges are intended to promote mutual understanding and benefit both countries, dismissing allegations of influence operations as misrepresentations of legitimate engagement. Nonetheless, public information suggests that China's influence in the U.S. is broad and multifaceted. State-run media outlets, identified by academics and the U.S. government as propaganda organs, are a central aspect of these efforts. The State Department estimates that China spends billions globally each year on information manipulation. 5 Chinese media operations, including CGTN America and Xinhua News, are registered as foreign agents in the U.S., often presenting China favorably in contrast to America. American politicians and government agencies have also taken note of substantial Chinese lobbying efforts, particularly on behalf of companies with military or strategic connections. Notable firms such as Huawei, Hikvision, and Tencent have spent millions on lobbying to influence U.S. policy and defend their interests, sometimes in response to sanctions or inclusion on lists of military-linked entities. Most lobbying occurs under the less stringent Lobbying Disclosure Act, which requires only basic reporting and does not provide the detailed transparency required by FARA. Critics, including members of Congress, have expressed concern that this allows Chinese interests to obscure the full extent of their activities, especially regarding issues relevant to national security. Beyond politics and media, China invests heavily in promoting trade, tourism, and economic cooperation with the U.S. organizations such as the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade operate openly, organizing exchanges and seeking investment opportunities. While officials state these activities are benign, some researchers and intelligence sources argue that such groups serve dual purposes, advancing CCP diplomatic and geopolitical objectives under the guise of commerce or cultural engagement. Despite ongoing controversy and heightened suspicion, diplomatic engagement continues, with Trump extending an invitation to Chinese President Xi Jinping to discuss critical issues later in the year. Want to make sure you never miss our latest